Now. Hi everyone, I'm Ken Rakowski. That's Sandy Grigsby. Sandy and I are here every single week. This is our kind of like our couples corner. We talk about things that help you out when it comes to your personal self-development or you and your relationships or just things to make you better online or better in business. Many of you might be aware that the two of us have decided that starting in November, we are going to try something really radical different. And that's going to be is we're going to leave the United States for a little while. And when I say a little while, it might be from a year to 12 months. And with that, we're going to venture to meet more new metal members, plus inspire entrepreneurs to be better at what they do. So starting in Dubai, Sandy's going to be on stage talking to tons of entrepreneurs on personal branding and entrepreneurs, and so am I, and the same thing in the Gaza Strip and in Tel Aviv. We're just going to be traveling the world, but incorporating you as metal members to be part of what's going on where we're traveling. We're very excited about that. So enough of that announcement. That's not going to happen until I think we officially leave the United States like the first week of December. I think that's first week of December is when we leave.
Yep.
So starting in November, we're traveling part of the United States and then we're off. But we're not leaving. We're always going to be around. Is that Big Mike? Is Big Mike and where's Big Mike and Nick? Where are those two? Big Mike and Nick. Where are you guys?
Are you... Is Sandy and Ken on yet? Because I want to say hi.
Hi, buddy. Where are you two?
We're in New York City. We got a meeting.
Wow. Are you guys going to be back? Are you going to be back here this weekend, Big Mike?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. You gonna go? Are we going hiking?
Yes, and more. I'll tell you that. I can't say it because we're having a surprise party for somebody, and I can't announce it here. But that's another thing. Okay. So we're hanging out.
I wanted to jump on and say hi. I love you. Yeah.
We love both you guys. Good
Bye-bye.
to see you guys driving in New York. Okay, go back to.
Bye. Love you guys.
Love you guys. All right.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Part of what we're going to be doing also is having a successful relationship as in a couple, but also as two entrepreneurs working on very different things, but bringing our talents together to help other entrepreneurs out. You got all that?
I got all that.
Do you agree with it?
I do agree.
So along our journey, we're going to have to be quarantined with each other like we've been here.
It's been great.
Okay, why have you been saying it's been great?
I love hanging out with you. Because we laugh all the time.
We do.
Because we get stuff done.
We GSD it all the time. We get stuff done. Yes, and?
We keep each other entertained.
But we're also very different.
Yeah, that's true.
We're very different.
Very different.
And when you're very
I'm
different.
a girl, he's a boy.
No. But when you're very different, you do sometimes either clash or when you find that perfect groove, you connect.
Correct.
And I think we found that perfect groove.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think we've analyzed that groove because we sit back and we realize where we're different and we bring it up often and we don't see it as a negative, but as a positive. So like Sandy, for example, I'm a morning person. I am.
I'm a morning person once I wake up.
Yeah, once you wake up in the late morning. But you are
7:30 is not that late.
7:30. That's when it starts.
I wake up at 7:30. I didn't say get out of bed.
So I am a morning person. She is a sleep fighter. Meaning when it gets late at night, she's going, I'm not going to bed. No.
I got shows to watch.
I go, but
things to do.
But you're falling asleep, honey.
That's right.
No, I'm not. I'm not falling asleep. But your eyes are closed. Yeah, but I hear everything. No. So it's like there's this battle of me getting up right away and her going, we're not going to bed yet. So there's this So what I wanted to do today, babe, is this is the topic. You see what it says?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not throwing you under the bus on anything, okay?
Okay.
I wanted to bring up different things that, by the way, and it's not just couples should be doing, but what you should be doing with your partners, your family, your friends. These are topics that you should be talking about. And I realize some people tell me that they are so burned out. Our bird has decided. Have you heard of it? Does anybody want a bird? Because we can't take the bird with us.
Get your berry. Michael's like, yes.
It's an awesome bird, by the way. It is an awesome bird. So these are topics. I sat back and I thought of 15 different things that I think are really important for you to be discussing with your friends, with your partners, with your kids, with your parents. And the reason why is so many people say, I'm so COVID out. I don't know what to talk about anymore. And that gets bad. So for example, let me tell you, when I call my dad up, he does two things. One, he tells you a joke.
He tells me the best jokes ever.
They're the worst jokes ever. Okay, Sandy, for some reason, because
They're
I've already
funny.
heard that joke 12 times.
See,
probably.
that's the problem. You already know the jokes.
And then my dad wants to proceed to tell me about TV shows he's watched.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Really boring TV
oh.
shows.
And that's his connection point with me for some reason, but then I try to take it away from TV shows. I always believe, guys, wherever you want to feel comfortable is where you should not rely to stay in. Do not stay in those comfort zones. So I'm going to talk about a few things, and I'd like to see what you think about these topics.
All right.
Okay, and same with you out there also. Use the chat, pop in, let's have discussions. So I am calling today's hour call topics happy couples talk about to draw them closer together. Okay, that's the topic. Now, I'm going to say it could be open for anyone or anything that's out there as we're popping more people in here. Okay, so the first one is they should not first, as a rule, this is a rule, by the way, everyone listen, it's really, really important. They should never, ever be jealous of each other's pasts.
That's 100% true.
Because I know people that can't talk about their ex-partners, their former experiences. They can't. Have you gone through people like that?
Yeah.
First of all, I gotta knock this bird out of the way. I'll be right back, everyone.
All right, Michael. The bird will show up at your door tomorrow. It's like, yes.
Oh my. She's going crazy.
Where is she?
She's downstairs now. What happens is when the bird hears us talking, it wants to talk with us.
So it comes up to us.
Oh my gosh.
She can fly.
And she wants to eat wherever we're eating. So whatever we're eating, she wants to eat it also.
Like sit in it and eat it.
Eat it, yeah. Okay, so the first rule is you cannot be jealous of your partner or friend's past. You can't be. Because that just kind of just shuts the door on everything.
Yeah, a lot of people have issues with that.
Why?
Usually I think it comes from their own internal things that they haven't overcome. So when they hear it, it triggers them and it makes them upset. So they don't want to deal with it.
And this also happens also if Sandy takes me to some place and then she goes, oh yeah, I took my ex-boyfriend here. I don't go, oh, that sucks. No, I embrace it. I go, great. So what you've done is you've used your ex relationships to figure out what's awesome and what sucks. And you know what not to ever take me back to if it sucked in a past relationship.
But you also shouldn't be comparing to
No,
exes.
no, of course not.
You know, what you're doing is really annoying. My ex-boyfriend never did that.
Never, ever do that.
No,
but,
really bad.
But if I'm going to take you to Disney World, per se, okay?
Yeah.
I've gone there with everybody in my family and every former relationship. But it's going to be a different experience with you.
Yeah.
I know that we're not going to go on It's a Small World 25 times. It's once, because you will sing that song over and over in your head.
I get 0 because I don't like that ride.
No, it's actually a cool ride. They fixed it up,
It's
okay?
annoying.
But our rule today is you cannot be jealous of each other's past.
Yeah.
Fair enough rule? Because we can move forward now because of that rule has been established.
Wait, who here is hung up on their exes or
that's
or
important.
their partner's past?
Or has had issues with a partner being hung up on your past? Anyone? I'm going to put this on full screen so we can see everybody. Where do I do that? Over here, view. Hi, everyone. So, okay, who's had issues? Anyone have issues with their partner's ex-past or their past? No one. Good.
Yeah, of course. These are metal guys. They don't have issues like that.
No, I mean, I know a lot of guys that say, I don't want to hear anything about them.
Yeah,
No.
that's true.
Okay.
Get over it.
And by the way, I'm just going to say this. Often enough, your ex may have done something your current couldn't do, like maybe run a 4-minute mile. You can't ever break that record, okay?
I like what you said, John.
What did John say?
He said his wife and him have visited every place and they both loved around the world so that their last memory of it is theirs. Ken does that too.
I do this. Matter of fact, what I do is I tell Sandy, I go, Sandy, I need to go to this place with you, even though I've gone with somebody else, because I want to own that memory with you.
Yeah.
So, and you do that, John, right? Look at John.
Yep. Yep.
That's smart.
So you two own that memory.
Right.
So important. Okay, so here's the first thing that you should be doing. Talk about vivid memories. Now, vivid memories don't necessarily have to be great memories. I got in a really serious bike accident when I was hit by a car. And
That's why he looks like this.
that's why I got all these scars. I
It's
lost
good.
all
I
my
like the
I lost all my
scars.
teeth over here. But it's a vivid memory, and it has put scars internally on me. But I use you as a therapist in some ways. You've had some traumatic relationships that have not treated you fairly.
Oh, for
They're
sure.
still very vivid, and you share them. But we do this back and forth. Now, you tell me when guys share stories, it's almost like sharing the hunt.
Yes.
Explain that.
Well, it's reliving the hunt.
Reliving. Explain that.
So women often make jokes about their partners or their friends that are guys who tell them the same story over and over and over again. So they're going to a party, your friends are coming over, and the guy, oh, let me tell you the story about that one time I won this game, and they go into detail, and the girls are like, oh, kill me, just stop telling that story. But the reason you guys do it, there's an actual reason, is because you're reliving the hunt, and it gets your adrenaline going. It's how you hunt like you would have back in the day. So we get it if we've done the work as women, and we know that you're reliving the hunt, and we're okay with that. So if your lady or someone else in your life is nagging on you about telling that same story over and over, then just explain to them that you're reliving the hunt. And it really,
That's what it is.
And it actually releases hormones and things into your bloodstream that make you healthier and happier. So you kind of need to relive the hunt. But if you're doing it all the time around the same person, just be mindful of that, because it's really annoying.
How about when women do
who
it?
don't relive the hunt. Women will repeat themselves over and over and over again if they think you're not listening to them. So if you didn't hear them and they feel like they have to tell you, you're like, God, you keep telling me this. If you say you keep telling me this, that means she perceives that you are not hearing her.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I know that, like Tom Beers, who's a metal member, he had a heart attack, and he literally directed his own heart attack. He gave a Moth, which is a radio show, the Moth Radio Hour. He gave a Moth talk on him going through. We've all heard the story, but for some reason, Tom loves to tell this story. He really lives in the hunt. That's his way of doing it. So those vivid memories, bring them out. And if you can, make them so vivid to where you almost feel what happened then. So when I got in my bike accident, I really feel the pain, and I express what was going on emotionally in my time of my life. When you tell me about traumatic things in your life, you paint the picture so well, it's almost like I'm standing next to you going through that with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so couples, or when you're with friends that you love, vivid memories. Next, reminisce about your childhood. Now, why is this important? I know a few of you might know Emmanuel Kelly. Emmanuel doesn't have any hands nor legs. He was found in a box in Iraq with his brother because his limbs were blown off. And when he talks about his memory as a child, he's reminiscing it in a positive way. I mean, when you look at him, he doesn't have the same limb structure as we have, but when you reminisce, you go, wow, and all of a sudden you find the strength that he has. When we were children, we really created a lot of identifiers of who we are today.
Mm-hmm.
I watched your childhood pictures a couple of weeks ago. You are that little girl that's being created today.
Yeah.
You are, right? So when you reminisce about your childhood, I don't see it as a negative. I get excited about that. Happy couples like to hear about each other's childhood.
It's
You
true.
like to look at pictures too.
It's so true.
Just depends when you want to show the pictures.
And what the pictures are.
Okay, guys. John, how long have you been married? You can unmute yourself.
Sorry, the mute. Yeah, so this is second time around for me, and this is 16 years.
16 years there. That's good. And Alan, how long have you been married? Alan, let me see if I can find Alan. Alan, here, there you go.
Here we go. 84, 94, 2004, 2014.
Sounds like
Married in 84,
so 34 years.
1984. So
36.
36 years. 36 years. That's pretty good. 36 years.
Really good.
And then Michael Rivera, how long have you been? Are you married?
But recently separated, so 20
So
years.
you're newly separated.
Yeah.
Oh, I got great insight for you. We're gonna have fun with you, okay? How long were you married?
20 years.
20 years. And then Michael, relationship situation?
Right now?
No, the other Michael. Michael,
Michaels.
nothing, Michael?
The Michael who wants our bird.
Yeah. Nothing, Michael?
No.
Good. We can mold the both Michaels to get the next big thing. Great. And Marco, you're Italian, so you have thousands of lovers.
Yes. He's like, oh yeah.
It's just the nature of the beast. So I'm going to go back to Alan and John. Inside jokes you two must share. And those inside jokes, only you two really get it. Right?
John's like,
Right.
And those inside jokes, when you do it, bring you closer, especially when you're in a group of others.
Yep.
Right? We've
Yeah.
only been together 2 years. We're going to go on our 2-year anniversary. And we have enough inside jokes. We have not since January of last year. We've only been apart 5 days of the entire, almost 2 years. We've been
That's
apart.
true.
We're always together. And there's so many inside jokes. And when people are around, we look at each other, we roll our eyes, and we know exactly what we're saying. We know exactly. And healthy couples, healthy relationships. My dad and his brother have inside jokes. Healthy relationships do this. So let me give you an example. My father, who is 78 years old, and his brother, who is 74 years old, they have a game called Janus, which is Latin for I know. They've been doing this game for 70 years. It's their own inside joke. And let me explain what the game is. The game is, I am aware that we are in a game, and the game is anytime you hand something to me, I have to acknowledge by saying Janus or I know
I know.
that we are playing a game. That's all it
He's
is.
lost 'cause-
Yeah, because I just took it back without saying I know. They have played this for 70 years. And in this process of this game, according to them, they've only lost 6 times. Now, it's a complete inside thing between my father and my uncle. They are the best of friends, and it's their own inside joke game. And they say it enhances their memory and their competitiveness. And it always is going on. This inside joke, it's funny because the people that now know what they do, they go, oh my God, and they roll their eyes. But you see that compatibility of my father and his brother. I've tried to do it with my brother. I have failed. So has he. It takes great, great concentration. Inside jokes are super important, or inside messaging. So if you're doing that in your new relationship, John, or Michael and Michael, you
Michael's.
creating the Michaels. What a great name for a store, Michaels. No,
One.
I know, I'm kidding. Inside jokes, everyone. Next is about sharing your feelings. This seems to be really tough for guys. What do you say? Yeah, why?
It is. Some guys don't like to be vulnerable like that.
Well, I was told by macho guys, don't leave your dirty dishes around the women. It makes you look weak. I'm just saying, I'm not agreeing with this.
I think, yes, that guys believe that. But women like it when men are vulnerable,
But at what point?
except
When they're whining.
there's a big, whining,
I do it
turn off.
sometimes.
Don't whine.
I have a whiny voice sometimes.
It gets really hard.
I get
Annoying.
irritated, yeah.
The reason women, okay, so here's the misconception, I believe. Men think it makes them weak. I think that is not what women believe, but women do believe men are weak when they are complaining about things or talking about things that can make the woman feel unsafe.
Okay, give an example, and this is very, very important, by the way, about security.
So if a guy is talking about how his mother passed away and he never mourned, and he holds this sadness and this anger, and he becomes vulnerable to discuss it and be open about his feelings, a woman finds beauty in that, and she actually connects with him better and loves him more. But if a man starts complaining about his business partner and he doesn't trust him because he stole all this money and he doesn't know what to do next, and he's like in this situation where he's probably going to lose more money, and then the woman's going, oh my God, we're going to lose our house, and she starts freaking out about being safe in their situation, then she might consider him to be weak.
Okay, explain. So guys, here's the secret about women. Women want one thing in their relationship. with everything in the world. Everything, not just a man.
And this isn't just biological women. This also goes with gay relationships where one partner is feminine.
Right. One word, guys, and the word is
Security.
Yeah,
Marco knows it.
yeah. And explain
Yeah.
how security is perceived. Like, for example, if we're walking, Sandy and I,
Oh.
and if I am not walking on the side to where the cars are, or if I am walking ahead of her and not really walking next to her, she feels unsafe,
Yeah.
making me an inconsistent partner, not providing security for her. So now she doesn't even feel safe to walk out to those areas.
And it
But
goes
explain.
even deeper.
Go ahead.
So for example, with walking, the reason that men walk on the inside of the street is like if a bus or something were to drive by, which actually happened to us the other day.
Yes, it did in Nashville.
And there was a huge puddle. Ken was walking on the inside. So I'm sorry, on the outside. I was on the inside where the buildings would be. He was on the outside near the street. And a bus came by and it soaked him. But I was dry. His body protected me. I felt so safe. But at the same time, we were walking that way and a really creepy, scraggly, scruffy, dirty, sketchy dude started walking by.
It may have been her ex-boyfriend, by the way. Go ahead. Okay, good. Sorry.
And Ken immediately grabbed me and moved me to the outside of the street. So he would be between the creepy guy and myself. I instantly felt safe, even though I was on the outside of the street. And it was because I knew he was aware and observant of what was going on around me. So as a woman, if we're walking down the street, we always feel like predators are after us. It's instinctual in how women are. And if we're always watching because women have what's called diffuse awareness. So we can see all of the things going on, which is why we were made to carry babies and birth them. So we can take care of the baby and cook the food and make sure that something's not coming for us and run if we need to and gather our things, make sure we have our handbag and our money and all that good stuff. That's diffuse awareness. So when we're out in public and we're aware of what's going on, we can be irritated or annoyed if we see somebody that makes us feel unsafe. So we rely on the man to be that Hawkeye to make sure that wherever we are, we feel totally secure. And if you're not doing that for your partner, who's the female, remember this could go for men or women. So if it's two men together, it's the feminine, then the partner starts to feel unsafe and they lash out in ways that you might not like so much.
Yeah.
They'll either become dominating, so they'll take over the situation. They will be snarky where they make snide little cutting remarks at you.
Well, it will emasculate then.
They do things to emasculate you because they feel like now I have to protect myself and you because you're not doing a good job.
And this happens, and I apologize that we're doing a segue or moving to something else. This is so important, guys, when you, like, for example, lose your job or you're not making enough money and the woman now starts saying, or the feminine starts to come in saying, you are not providing what I need. And because of that, I am now going to become the dominant breadwinner. And they might emasculate the man because they are now becoming the dominant security force of the relationship.
Yeah, you see this a lot in relationships where the woman will say something cutting or cut him off or speak for him or push him out of the way, or not just the woman, but the feminine. We have to be the feminine. And then the masculine person will start to take on the feminine traits. So it's where the masculine person doesn't speak up. They start to just shut up. Okay, whatever. They say nothing.
It happened to me, by the way.
They don't protect. They start to lose focus, lose their passion. They aren't bringing in the money. They start to feel bad. They fall into depression. And it just starts to get worse and worse. And then the other person, the feminine, who now is taking on the masculine role, is starting to become even more commanding and dominating.
Well, they actually start producing more testosterone. And if you're the guy, you actually start producing more estrogen. It's fascinating. This happens to a lot of relationships as you get older. As you get older, the woman does start to produce more testosterone, less estrogen. They become more masculine. It's just part of going through menopause. And the man produces less testosterone, as we all know. And there's this change off that happens, which is really interesting. So the way to prevent the emotional side to take effect, the man has to still stand their ground. They still have to be protective. They have to own security and strength. They have to maintain that. Yeah. Not being Sean Connery where you're slapping people around, nothing like that. But you got to maintain that I am the masculine side of that relationship.
Yeah.
And it's very hard at times, especially in today's society, where being masculine is looked down towards.
Well, I actually believe that's because a lot of women, they go with this feminine rights thing where they want to be, you know, they want to speak out. We want to have equal rights. We want to be treated like everybody else. But I believe that a lot of those women are not in tune with their femininity.
Yeah.
They don't understand the deeper meaning of masculine and feminine energies and how they correlate and work together.
Right.
They don't understand the harmony. So they think they can do it all. And then they're the ones who are single for a long time and
Bitter.
miserable and bitter and angry and
Mhm.
depressed. And then it amplifies that feeling and that behavior.
Especially in areas where, like Los Angeles, we're in Los Angeles, where there's a lot of younger women going after older men. So a woman around your age, if they're single, they become very bitter.
Yes.
Very bitter because all of a sudden they got all this competition. Someone's younger than me, and guys being very visual. They're looking at something as opposed to what they should be looking at as the heart. It's pretty messed up. But I want us to just touch upon this thing one more time. We have a couple of single guys
Michael
here.
says he's dated some of those.
Yeah, they're out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but guys, understand this. Because I think, Jack, you're single also, right? Oh, you're not single. Okay, got it. Well, that's
Jack,
good.
I like your hair. That's cool.
Jack, how long have you been in your relationship?
First one was 24 years, and this one's 7.
7. Good. You're like me too. I'm a long-term relationship person. But this is really important, guys. The two single guys that are here right now. Be very careful of a woman in the past that seemed to be very dominant in their relationship. Because it's very hard for them to go back. Look at Marco shaking his head. To go back to the feminine side. But I'll tell you something that's really fascinating. When I am in my dominant, my masculine dominant, not where I'm being a dick dominant, but my masculine dominant, you become more feminine.
Yes. And I become more attracted to him.
Yeah, so what happens all of a sudden is the girl that you're looking for starts to bloom even more. The more confidence you have, the more masculinity, not where your muscles are popping out, but just where you are taking charge, because security now is where she feels comfortable. There's security.
Because she doesn't have to be the one looking out for herself. She knows that if she trips and falls, you're going to catch her. If she says something that's weird and ditzy, you're going to catch it and correct it, but make her feel safe in that moment. You're going to completely make her feel wrapped in your love and warmth and power and safety.
Marco.
What's the difference between dominant and passive aggressive?
So passive aggressive is more like when you want to say something, but you're not just saying it, you're saying it in a cutting way. So a lot of women tend to be passive aggressive. So they're irritated by something you did, and instead of saying, you know, what you did really hurt my feelings, and this is why, they'll go, well, you always do that to your blah, 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 and they'll say something cutting. So passive aggressive is a really bad thing to be. And if you find yourself being passive aggressive, be mindful of it, because it's actually a cheating way of communication and it damages relationships.
What, you have situations like that, Marco?
I had, yes.
Had. It's horrible too, because it feels like it's not a direct, okay, so what's the problem then? Because, you know, here, us guys, what are we? We're problem solvers. We're going to fix it.
Yes.
Let us fix it. Let us fix it. And women are, they're not expecting you to fix it. They're expecting you to understand it, communicate it, and then work together to move forward on designing a better future. There's a lot going on there. Where we just put a screwdriver in there and use it as a hammer and make it work, and then we're able to move forward. Let me make sure I understand. Like this morning, I was a bit snarky this morning.
It was so snarky.
I was snarky. I've been in work mode. I haven't moved off this area. And she asked a simple question. I kind of barked at you. I did. Now, what did I do right away? I knew I affected you.
Oh, because I stopped talking to him and walked away.
Yeah, there was obviously some signs there. I right away, well, and about 4 minutes later, because I had to finish this little email, I apologized, I embraced, and then we made plans to move forward. So we put that behind us. It's still there. I was a dick, but we're going to move forward now. But I acknowledged it, so we can move forward. Yeah. Where a lot of us guys say, fine, whatever. This is what I learned a long time ago from successful relationships. One guy that was in a 12-year relationship, and then they got a pretty serious divorce after that. And then he was in a 24 relationship that really worked well. He said that every time you get into an argument, it's like somebody taking a nail and hammering it into a piece of wood.
Mm.
And then
So
when
true.
you don't apologize, the nail is inside the wood. When you pull it out by apologizing, there's still a hole there. You may have apologized, the nail's out, there's still pain. But if you embrace it and fix it, it fixes the hole. He said in his first relationship, there was a lot of nails in there. There was a ton of apologies by pulling it out, but there was no fixing. So his relationship felt like a piece of Swiss cheese eventually. And his second relationship, he learned to correct by apologizing to move forward. And he didn't do those same mistakes, neither did they. But it's interesting, guys, if you're not apologizing and then proving that you accept what that apology is, I'm sorry, I won't do it again, and make a real position forward. Us guys, by the way, are very different than women because they will embrace that apology and us fixing it. Us guys, like, Marco, I am really sorry for making fun of your hair the other day. God. But it looks good
You're
now.
right.
The apology's not enough for a woman. She's like, okay, don't do it again. And then the next time you do something even remotely close to that, even though it's different, she takes that as the same thing.
He was right. Ken was absolutely right. I had a
It
bad
doesn't
haircut.
matter.
That's it.
It doesn't matter, but you can't say, oh, Sandy, your hair looks like, oh, your hair looks like a nest today or something like that. It might look like a nest.
She could even say it looks like a nest. Don't agree.
I came on Zoom. I fixed all the lighting. Hopefully nobody was gonna notice my messed up hairstyle. And Ken, the first thing he said, Marco, did you have a bad haircut? I said, immediately. I was trying to hide it in any possible way, but no.
Yeah, you should have wore a sombrero.
But
I would've-
Yeah, like a hat or something.
Men are direct and they want to fix.
And I appreciate it, yes.
Women are indirect and they want to feel. So you have to remember when you're saying something to a woman and you're going to go and fix it, a lot of times she doesn't want to fix it. What is that? There was a video out with the girl
the
that has a
nail.
nail in her head. Have you guys seen that?
It's not about the nail.
And she goes, God, my head hurts. There's shut up. My head just hurts. Can you just absorb the fact that my head hurts? And she goes off. And he's like, but there's and he's trying to tell her there's a nail and she doesn't want to hear it. That's pretty accurate.
This also works in the feminine and the masculine in a gay relationship.
Yeah, it works in feminine and masculine. So here's the solution to that. You guys want to hear it?
Yes, I do.
Okay. When you walk in, so you're the masculine, you walk into a situation with your feminine partner. What you're going to do is you're going to open up a trash bag in your mind.
Okay.
It's going to be like this. So you're going to, in your mind, here's the trash bag. Honey, how are you today? And then for a set amount of time, you can set this yourself. It could be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever works for you.
There's going to be garbage.
You're going to let them dump all their garbage into your trash bag. That's it. Don't give advice. Don't ask questions. Don't say anything. Just really, You can say, tell me more if they're being a little slow, but let them put as much garbage as they want into that trash bag. And then at the end say, wow, I hear you. And that's it. That's it. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to go deeper. You don't have to talk about it more. You can move on. And they're like, oh, they see me and hear me. This is like the greatest day ever. And you have made the happiest feminine partner of your life. And then
Really?
that trash bag, throw that shit out. You don't even need to think about it. Remember, it's gone because they're not going to bring it up again because they just needed to get it out.
Really? It's
works.
that simple.
It's that simple. It's
Really?
like when I come home and I'm like, oh my God, my friend just
I
went
do.
off about her blah, blah, blah. And it was so depressing. And I'm like, blah, blah, and you're like,
I do it, I guess.
I will never tell that story to him again because I won't remember. As soon as it's out and he hears it, it's gone from my brain and I feel good because it's out because I needed to purge it like vomit. And he just throws that garbage away because he won't remember it again either. And it works for both of us.
I noticed that healthy couples like us, we joke around a lot.
Yeah.
But there's a certain level where us guys joke around and where relationships like ours joke around. I can't take you to that point where I'd go with the guys.
You mean like the raunchy side?
Yeah, I can't because it's sometimes offensive, and us guys kind of joke around about it.
Some women are really sensitive. I'm more like cool with it.
I know you are.
Like the guys will say something about chicks, and I'm like, ha, and I'll add to it. But I'm rare. Most chicks will get really stressed out and not like it.
Yeah. So how do we know when we're at that point?
Don't
Or how
do it.
Just don't even come close.
If you would say it to your buddy, don't say it to your partner, your female partner.
It gets in a lot of trouble. It gets us in a lot of trouble because I go, oh man, I just told Ryan this joke. I got to share it with you. And they go, oh, that's gross.
Yeah, don't do it. Just
Yeah.
you know what? It's like this. When your female partner comes home and she starts telling you about her gynecology visit, do you want to hear it?
I'm opening up the garbage bag.
No.
Yeah, I know.
So
but
if you're going to start talking about your guy stuff with your guy friends, then keep it with the guy friends so she can keep her gyno visit with the girlfriends. And you guys feel free to tell your female partner. I would really love it if you just share that with your girlfriends. Like, I don't need to hear that. Be open about that. Because if you say nothing and you just let her talk about stuff that makes you feel really uncomfortable, then you're going to ask for more of that.
But there's got to be a kind of a healthy balance because GNO, Mike, who was just on a moment ago, he has this whole thing, good news only, good news only. And when his wife wants to share something that's negative,
Yeah.
he says, no, good news only. And he says, starve the noise. And then she walks away. That's kind of militant in some ways, isn't it?
Yeah, a more gentle way to say that would be, I'm all about good news. Save that for your girlfriends.
And that's it.
Just so give her another, like, I would love it if you talk to her. If you want to have some girl time, you guys can go to lunch on Saturday. Like, joke about it and make it playful and encourage them to give it to someone else.
Don't you think that relationship, and Mike, again, I apologize if you're still watching, they can't share everything then?
It goes back to remember when I said if a woman doesn't feel safe with what you're sharing,
Right.
don't share it.
Mhm.
It doesn't mean lie. It doesn't mean omit. But if there's things that are going to make her feel unsafe, there's no value in sharing that information.
Okay, let me
You
ask.
can generalize like, oh, I'm having some stress at work. Don't worry, I talked to my friend about it. We're good. If she keeps prying, that's one thing. But if it's something she doesn't really need to know, move on.
Sandy, how about back to security? What happens if a guy, being me, doesn't share their pain with their partner? So if I'm hurting, my knee hurts or my back hurts or I have a headache or...
That's not good.
So explain why. And because I hear every time your nail hurts.
Yeah, and this
Or-
one kind of hurt
I
today,
mean,
too.
but I hear
like
everything. To me, it's like,
see,
I get it. But to me, it's like, you know what? I got a cut here. It's going to be fine.
So when a woman shares her pain, it means she's seeking you to make her feel loved and secure.
Okay.
And women want to know if you're in pain. So if you're having tightness in your chest, if you're having difficulty breathing,
Well, that's
there's a
different.
headache or something physically is going on, the reason a woman wants to know, and guys will like keep that information, you didn't need to know, it always passes. Women need to know because if something happens to you, you didn't tell her you were feeling ill, she can't help you fix it.
This goes back to security.
It goes back to security. If I'm at dinner with you and you drop dead at the table, what? Like I'm stuck, I don't feel safe and who knows where my life goes from there. But if I'm aware that you're sick and you could drop dead at the table, women already compartmentalize how they're going to prepare for that. They'll either have something in their bag to save your life. They'll have the 911 on speed dial or, the doctor on speed dial, whatever it is. Women are nurturers, so they will mentally prepare to take care of you when need be. And they're also going to watch the things that you're doing and mentally try to figure out how to solve your problem that you might not care so much about.
Yeah, that's it. So last week, I either I got poisoned by something, or I may
It
have
wasn't me.
or I may have had a miniature stroke. I'm being serious, guys.
Yeah.
So we're sitting at breakfast a week from tomorrow, or last week on Wednesday, I'm eating and all of a sudden my eye starts burning. And I'm telling Sandy this. I go, Sandy, my eye is burning. And then all of a sudden I lost the ability to speak and I became numb on this half of my arm. And I'm thinking, okay, am I having a stroke or what's going on with my eye? The eye thing, if it wasn't there, then I was having a stroke. And Sandy's going, what's going on? I need help. Should I call 911? And I'm not. I go, hang on. And I recovered about 90 seconds later on.
No, it was not.
Maybe 2 minutes later on. 4 or 5. But the issue was you felt super unsafe.
Yeah.
You felt uncomfortable and you started thinking about your future right away.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, Dan, this guy's going to be lost. I don't have a car to drive back to Chicago.
I can't carry his weight.
I can't carry. He's got a lot of luggage. I don't have to fly that drone he's got. He just got a GoPro 9. I don't know how to work it. I get it. All the things I'd be worrying about.
Yeah.
But through that process, I realized I had to take care of myself right away.
Mm-hmm.
I apologized. I couldn't focus on you. I felt no pain after that. If I would feel pain after that, I would tell you. But to me, that was a moment of something's going on. I know you're going to exaggerate it. I just know you are.
I'm a woman. But that's the beauty of a woman. Think of how many lives we've saved from our over-exaggeration. Oh, my heart just
Fair enough.
just a bit. He's having a heart attack. The ambulance comes, they save him, go, you know, you would have had a heart attack if she hadn't called the ambulance.
Yeah, okay.
Women need to over-exaggerate sometimes to get results. You should admire that.
I guess I do. I admire it. Guys, I know we're monopolizing this conversation, but I hope we're at least, we're heading in different directions. We were talking about what happy couples talk about. I did talk about dealing with their feelings and emotions. You're saying there's a point.
Yes.
But the guys have to be much more the masculine have to be much more receptive in opening up that garbage bag and dumping events and feelings into it.
Yes.
That's the masculine's responsibility.
Yes.
Got it. Moving forward, okay?
Spare yourself the pain of what she's going to say or the feminine.
What happens if my role model or my mentor is somebody you don't respect? Let me just give you an example. Let's just say I go, oh my God, I love Nancy Pelosi. She's my favorite. I love her. And you hate her, right? So what happens in that situation? Or vice versa, you love Nancy Pelosi and I can't stand her. What do you do?
I mean, I personally couldn't handle it. It would just stress me out. But I know people who are in amazing relationships where one person is, for example, super liberal and the other one's super conservative, and they do really well. That's a individual issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're saying you keep it. Let's not talk about it. Do you really just stop communication then?
I can't answer that because
You're not. Well, no, you've had relationships like that.
we don't talk. We go and talk about other things.
That's it. It's diabolically opposite, and you don't even bring it
Yeah,
up.
we don't even bring it up. But there I've seen relationships where they do bring it up and they do incredibly well. I don't know how.
Like who is a hero of yours? Like Saban's one of your heroes.
Yeah,
She's-
Cheryl Saban, I love.
Cheryl Saban's a friend of hers, but also your mentor. But that's somebody who I would admire then too if I ever met her.
Yeah, she's an amazing.
She's an incredible woman.
She's
Saban's, by the way, you
incredible
probably
woman.
know from
The Power Rangers. Haim Saban started the TV series The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which was recently a movie, I think within the past 5 years. And his wife and I are friends, and she became my mentor, and she is one of the most amazing people I've ever met.
But I think she'd be great,
She's wonderful.
right?
Yeah.
But like, let's just say Kenny Aronoff in metal.
I love Kenny.
And let's just say you didn't.
How? He's so cute.
He's a little horn dog.
He is. Some women, he freaks some ladies out, but I think it's hilarious.
He's a horn dog, right? So what happens if you go, oh my God, Kenny, don't ever have him around the house. But he's like my mentor. How do you deal with it? I'm just asking. I know.
Well, I think it boils down to comfort. So if he's coming over and he's making your partner feel super uncomfortable, then out of respect, you wouldn't put your partner in
Yeah.
that situation. So then it's like, keep Kenny to your private time. But you don't do that because I love Kenny. A little touchy-feely.
We talk about this whole idea of different structures of conversation. So you have the people gossip level, you have the event level, and then you have the idea level, right? Eleanor Roosevelt said, small-minded people talk about people,
Yes.
mid-range, average people talk about events, and really high-level smart people talk about ideas. And we do them all. we get into the whole TMZ side of our relationship where we're talking about that neighbor over there who, if we could build a wall, we would. You know, we have all those, but we're not destructive in what we say. So if there's something that I think and you're so against it, you don't beat the crap out of me on it.
No.
Okay. And I noticed the same thing with myself with you, because there are certain people I might roll my eyes with, and you do the same thing. But those are your friends, or those are your relationships. They're not damaging to our relationship. And almost like a stray pet that you bring in the house, you take care of it.
Mhm.
And I see a lot of people beat the crap out of each other over their
Yeah.
relationships.
Yeah, unless the relationship is harmful.
And like someone's an alcoholic and they go out drinking. You know, guys, the more you share time with people that are doing something, you know, if you have 5 friends that have divorces, you are probably going to go through a breakup or divorce. It is contagious.
So true.
It is. Michael went, oh, just saying, Michael, it's true. What do you say? Wait, I hear what Michael's saying. What are you saying, Michael? Is that what happened to you?
No, not necessarily, but it's the what's the old adage? You're the sum total of the 5 people that you bring into your life or that you hang out with all the time.
On everything, right?
Yeah.
That's why I always laughed at the TV show Friends. They were all losers. That's why we watched them, because they never had a really good person in that group. I mean, if Ross would have brought over a nuclear physicist who was just killing it, it would have changed the whole dynamic of Friends. They would have, oh my God, look at it. They're all getting out of their way. They're all doing stuff. That's the problem. You hang out with douchey friends, you're a douchebag then too.
That's so true.
But what was that?
Proximity is power, right? Like what you
Proximity is power. That's the idea why metal. By the way, guys, I have to tell you, this is our first month ever where a majority of the people that applied to be in metal, we did not let in because they weren't metal men. We basically said, nope, not. We were so hard because exactly what you said, the people that are around you, and it's so much easier to be kind of a horrible person when Zoom is turned off. And then that nice, kind person when it's on because you're not around that person. You can't hang out. So we have to look even harder now at who's applying to be a metal member because we want them to all be great. And because I want exactly what you just said, Michael. I want great people to be around you all the time. So that greatness feeds onto you and vice versa. I mean, if Marco would have kept that haircut, the guy would have been out. Thank God he let him go out. I'm just messing with you, buddy. All right. So the idea of relationships, couples, friends talk about other friends' relationships. I by the way, what's really fascinating about Sandy and I is I don't drink. It's not because I'm a former alcoholic or it just doesn't do anything for me. You don't really drink. You might have a glass of wine on a plane somewhere if we're going, but
no, plain wine, please.
No, there's some on
I
business
don't drink
class.
plain wine.
There's good plain wine.
No.
Business class.
No.
All right, fine. You haven't experienced it. But our friends don't drink either, which really fascinates us as we're sitting around going, wow, we just attract people that don't party.
We know who our true friends are when they bring us a gift and it's a bottle of wine.
Well,
And we're
that's not a
like,
real friend.
that's what I'm saying. We're like,
We
you
don't
don't know us at
drink.
all.
We
Who
don't
are
drink.
you?
It's so true, actually, right?
Yeah.
We just don't drink. We don't party. It's not loud music. It's all dialogue. If you ever come to a party or a house, the music's not loud, and there's a lot of great food, and we're all just talking and hanging.
And we might have a world famous magician.
We have done that, or a great ice cream scientist.
That's true.
Just saying, too. We did that. Oh, yeah, Marco, we had an ice cream party where we had the chief tastemaker from Cold Stone Creamery come by, and she made all these different ice creams and that. And then we had Freddie, Ravel, and AJ sing ice cream songs together.
Yeah,
it was
that they made
awesome.
Amazing.
It was amazing. It was amazing. But I realized that great relationships, they tend to bring their good friends together then too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, my mom had friends my dad couldn't stand. And anytime they were at the house, my dad would leave the house. And I felt so bad for both of them that they couldn't enjoy their friends. By the way, I just tell you something kind of cool. Her best friend, besides me, is actually her mom. And I love her mom. It's like, I can't wait to hang out with her mom. And when she goes, oh, mom's going to come into town or we're going to go to mom's, I'm not one of those guys who go, oh, damn, man, her mom's here. I'm going to get out of here.
No, he's like, I'm driving.
I can't wait. Let's get over there, right? And I love doing this. And I think maybe it's because we are so similar that it just works. I love all your friends are awesome.
Yeah, my friends are awesome.
They really are. Okay, guys. I'm sorry this is kind of mundane, but it was just a fun thing that I started looking at. By the way, what do you think about honest feedback? You heard of this saying, can I give you some constructive criticism?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the idea of honest feedback versus constructive criticism? Because to me, criticism just sounds like a negative word no matter what.
You know, I think you have to really be careful when you give people feedback. Because
Tell
you
me.
actually, even though you think you might be right in what you're saying, you don't know all of the circumstances that go around it. And what you're saying might actually come across as offensive or not be taken well. So I always recommend, unless someone asks you for your advice, just be really careful in giving it.
Well, like Marco's haircut, I didn't get all the information because
Exactly.
he goes,
A bird might have landed on his head
it's a blind barber.
and then, like used its little talons.
No, he went late in the day, he told me, and the person was angry when they cut their hair. I got it all. I understand.
Yeah.
But getting all the right information. I think that if I ever say something to somebody, it's because I'm using the past knowledge of at least knowing. I just don't say something the right way going, hey, that shirt on you doesn't work for you. Not knowing that's the only shirt you're on.
Like, I don't usually, exactly, the shirt's an example. So I do personal branding and I tell people what to wear, but I don't usually go up to someone and go, let's see, that's not really your color. That neckline absolutely doesn't work for you. That haircut's terrible. Like, I don't do that. But if someone says to me, hey, Sandy, you're in personal branding. Can you give me any advice on what I should be wearing?
Yeah.
And I said, okay, do you want me to tell you just about clothing or you want me to go deeper? And then, oh no, tell me the whole thing. Then I will give you my advice. But I don't like to just say, your outfit sucks and that hair does not work on you, because you never know the circumstance.
Okay. By the way, Sandy's got this great thing. It's called Sandy in Focus. She does this thing called Confidence Jam. It's 9 weeks long, and a bunch of metal guys are in it. Steve Harms is in it. Mighty. We don't call him Big Paul anymore. He's Mighty Paul.
New branding.
New branding, because Big Paul does not work with him at all. It's Mighty Paul. But in Mighty Paul and Steve have actually showed some tears, which I really admire, by the way. I do. I like when a guy shows their genuine side. Her program restarts back up in November, you think?
We're still deciding the timeline because of the holidays. So
Yeah.
maybe January.
It might be January, but it's amazing. You go on Sandy in Focus and take her test that's there, and it gives you a lot of information. But moving forward, let's talk about future. How should couples talk about future things? So for example, we're going to be traveling to about maybe 12 to 18 countries. Okay, that's what we're going to do over the next 12 to 18 months. And all I've been doing is researching. Like Jordan, we're going to do Jordan. I've watched YouTube videos on it. I started talking to the royal family out there. And you haven't done it yet. Okay, and the reason why is because you're busy. I get it. But that's our future. When does somebody in the relationship say, all right, they don't seem to care? You know what I mean? I'm not saying you don't. But let's just say, for example, I'm going to build a house, or you're going to build a house. And I go, you just do it, you just do it, you just do it. Doesn't it feel like, even though it's the future of the relationship, if one says you do it, it's almost as if they don't care after a while.
Mm-hmm.
How do you either realize that you're never going to get them on your side, or you need to get them involved without forcing them, but bring them in? And by the way, I'm not saying you're not watching the videos. I know you're working, okay? I know that she's made a commitment. Once she's done with this program, she's all mine. And that will be November, I believe.
Yes.
Right? Fingers crossed. But how do you do that when you plan the future to make sure you're reading things properly? Does that make sense what I'm asking?
I think so.
Like, I could care less what kind of furniture you get for the house.
Good, because I have really good taste,
No, but
and it's going to be all like
But you know that.
specific.
Sandy, you know that. So when we're like going out shopping and go, what do you think? What do you think? I go, I don't care.
I love that.
But don't take it like a certain way. Like, oh, God, what is she doing, that bird?
She's calling Michael's name.
Michael, pick me up, pick me up. Don't do that. You have no idea. That bird will be all over you. No, but how do you do that as you plan a future? Because I believe that people should be planning it together.
Yeah.
I know that someone says, in anything you do in a relationship, there's always a passenger and there's always a driver. And it depends what we're driving. Furniture, you're the driver.
Yeah, I think it just depends on what it is. Ultimately, the most important thing I believe is that you guys are growing together.
Right.
So, if one person wants to be the planner and the other person wants to be the decorator, and the other one completely gives that, like, you decorate all you want, I'm cool with that. And then they're like, you plan all you want, it works for me. I think that's great. But if you're not growing together, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, that's where the drop off is.
Yeah, a friend of mine, a couple of guys in metal, by the way, have had multiple marriages, not at the same time. And you go, oh my God, so unsuccessful. And I don't necessarily first believe that. I notice, and I know one guy that's got 3 or 4 divorces. 4. First, he should never got married. But second, I realized that they were growing like this, and their relationship with that person stagnated.
Yeah.
And actually, in some cases, went down. And they tried to pull that person up. And I noticed almost most relationships, that's when one partner either cheats or goes off, and then that's when the relationship falls apart. As long as you're growing in parity, and Michael, your next relationship, or Marco, and I'm not sure, and Nitish, are you in a relationship?
No, not at the moment. I'm
Not at
still
the
single
moment.
right now.
When was the last time you were in a relationship?
Probably like 6 months ago.
6 months ago? Was it long term or was it a monthly thing? Was it like a subscription to a magazine? You just canceled it?
More short term.
Yeah, okay. It was like an online subscription. Okay, done. Yeah. You find that person that one is not your equal, meaning you don't go, oh, they're exactly the same. You don't want to have sex with yourself, guys. Don't do that. You want to find someone, you and I are different and the same, but we're different in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And when I am lazy and not in a good place, she kicks my butt in a good way, going, come on, let's do this. Let's go outside. And same thing with her. We're constantly working because I was in a 20-year relationship and a 15-year relationship. And they're all successful in time, but not in practice. Meaning I was there for a long time, but they weren't successful in what they were. I was emasculated in my last relationship. And in my other relationship, my very first, I was just a horrible partner, but I stuck around for a long time. This relationship, from all the errors I've learned in the past, I've learned first thing is, if I'm not in a good place, I have to vocalize it. I'm not in a good place. I need help. Get me out of here. Second, I have to always check where you're at. She's like over the top today. Over the top, that bird. We're acting like the zoo right now. It's crazy. You're in the Amazon. And in that position of communicating constantly, we're either always pulling or pushing each other to be at the same parity.
Yeah.
I love that. Hey guys, that's it. Today was just kind of a let's throw shit against the wall and see what sticks. Check out Sandy and Focus.
.com.
.com. Go check that out. Always a .com. And guys, I'm not sure what your plans are, but this Saturday I got a great medal. I just talked to Mark Victor Hansen, who's going to be with us. He wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul. We got Naveen Jain. You know Naveen probably, right, Nitish? You're Indian. All
Yes.
Indian, right?
Yeah, of course.
Cool.
Actually, I interviewed him at Singularity University like 5
That's
years
right.
ago.
It's Singularity. Naveen's going to be
Yeah.
on this weekend, which I'm very excited about. We got a lot of great people for this Saturday. So join us on Saturday. And thanks a lot for hanging out with us on these Tuesdays. We appreciate it. All right, guys. We'll see you all later.
Thanks,
Bye.
guys. A lot of fun.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.